Alrighty guys, just Sunstrider here. Welcome back to another Xcom to War of the Chosen mod concept. This time it's going to be another enemy mod, not a raider faction, just kind of like an advent subdivision. You guys ever heard of the Bio Division 2.0 mod? Which adds in a bunch of combines a bunch of the old Biotrooper mods together into one. This is kind of like one of those, you know, like all those Biotrooper mods, you know, Bio Events, Beasts, Command, all that stuff. Alright. Except, of course, it's a different theme, different units, different builds, right? I'm just using the Bio Division as kind of an example of what this is. And this is the Advent Techno Union. Yes, it is a reference to the Star Wars Techno Union. And, yeah. Pretty much, it's a short backstory. This is the only slide for the backstory, just explaining what the idea is around this Techno Union. And it even says, much like the well-known Bio Division, the Techno Union is a group of Advent scientists and engineers who want to impress their alien overlords. However, this subdivision is all about robotics, outfitting their units with heavy gear and fancy tools, as well as developing their own robotic units. The Techno Union cares little about psionics, seeing it as old news, blatantly avoiding psionics and going out of the way to buff non-psionic aliens as well. As the advancements of the Techno Union buffs their troopers with high amounts of armor, it comes at a cost. The equipment is bulky and heavy, leaving more aggressive troopers like Stun Lancers, Purifiers, and Berserkers at a disadvantage. So pretty much high health, high armor, low mobility. That's kind of the idea and focus around the Techno Union, at least for the Advent Troopers. The Robotic Troopers, obviously, have a bit of an advantage by not being organic and not having to worry about their own carry weight, because they can be built to carry more and still run fast. You know, robotics. Fancy. Alright. So there's three sections to the troopers here. There are the Advent units, which are the organic Advent units. There are the robotic units, which is robotic units produced by Advent. And then finally, there is the aliens, Techno Aliens, which are pretty much just cybernetically buffed aliens to use all of these fancy techno toys. So, first of all, we have the basic Advent Techno Trooper with 3 different ranks. The basic Techno Trooper goes by the stats of 5 HP, 65 aim, 3 armor, 50 mobility, or 50 will, and 9 mobility compared to like 12 mobility that normal Advent Troopers have. The equipment contains of a specially designed Techno rifle, which is just, you know, a fancy way of saying that they don't use generic Advent weaponry, they develop their own. It does 4 to 5 damage, and they also have a Techno Scatter Pistol, which is a shotgun type handgun with splinter rounds that shatter upon contact, causing a bleed effect. It only does 1 to 2 damage, but has a 50% chance to inflict bleeding on the target. So kind of like all of the Hunter's weapons have a chance to cause bleeding on targets that he hits. This is kind of the same idea, except for just 1 gun. Then we have the Advanced Techno Trooper, which stats are 7 HP, 70 aim, 3 armor, 5 will, and again, 9 mobility. The equipment, the Techno Rifle, has been buffed to 5 to 6 damage. The Techno Scatter Pistol is upgraded to 2 to 4 damage, with still the 50% chance to cause bleeding. Skills, it has lightning in, so it can fire its pistol as a free action. The Elite Techno Trooper has 10 health, 70 aim, 3 armor, 50 will, and 9 mobility. The Techno Rifle has been buffed to 6 to 7 damage. The Techno Scatter Pistol has been buffed 4 to 5 damage and a 50% chance to cause bleeding. And skills include Fanfire. Now, I can't stress this enough. Skills from lower ranks transfer to higher ranks, just so I don't have to retype them out. Right, if you guys watch some of my other enemy mods, like the Shadow Troopers and the Raider faction, the Fallen Army Raider faction, this is also the same design setup, presentation setup, where like the Elite Trooper, Techno Trooper will have both lightning hands and fan fire, just save space and time by not having to add it on to the skills of the elites, right? This makes sense. This should make sense going forward with other Techno Troopers, right? It's vital information. Make sure you guys, get that, hopefully. The next trooper is the Techno Assault Trooper, which the basic Techno Assault Trooper has 6 HP, 60 aim, 2 armor, 60 will, and 10 mobility. Right, while normal stun lancers have like 13, 14. Their equipment, they have a Techno Shotgun dealing 3 to 4 damage, a Techno Lightning Axe, which is pretty much like a fancy way of saying he has a Hunter's Axe, like the Arc Pulsar Axe thing, like the secondary tier, which is a heavy battle axe with the electrical conduit attached to the blade that can temporarily stun enemies, 3 to 4 damage, 25% chance to stun for two actions or 1 full turn, because 1 full turn is 2 actions, right? The Advanced Techno Assault Trooper has 8 HP, 65 aim, 3 armor, 65 will, and 10 mobility. Equipment-wise, the Techno Shotgun is buffed to 4 to 5 damage, the Lightning Axe is buffed to 4 to 5 damage as well, and it still has a 25% chance to stun for a full turn. Skills, Throw Axe, so it can now throw its axe, although it only has 1 at the advanced rank. Right, it costs 1 action, the axe shatters upon impact, dealing 5 damage with another 25% chance to stun. Right, and after it throws the axe, it can't pick it back up, or it can't use the axe anymore, unless of course it's an elite Techno Assault Trooper that has 10 HP, 70 aim, 4 armor, 70 will, 10 mobility. Equipment-wise, Techno Shotgun is 5 to 6 damage. Techno Lightning Axe is 5 to 6 damage as well, with again a 25% chance to stun. And it now picks up Shadow Step and a secondary axe, so elite Techno Assault Troopers can throw their axe and have a secondary one. Right? So just a little bit of separating of the Hunter's axes there. And this is, of course, the Stun Lancer equivalent. Next up, we have the Techno Rocket Trooper, which takes its inspiration from the Long War II Advent Rocketeer. The basic Techno Rocket Trooper has 6 HP, 65 aim, 3 armor, 60 mobility, 6 will, and 9 mobility, same as the Trooper variant. Equipment-wise, it has a Techno Cannon, dealing 5 to 6 damage, and a rocket launcher, which operates the same as the Xcom variant. And skills, it has blast padding, because, I mean, if you're walking around with heavy weapons like that, you're gonna want some extra protection. Advanced Techno Rocket Troopers have 8 HP, 3 armor, 65 will, 9 mobility. The Techno Cannon has been buffed to 5 to 6 damage. The rocket launcher has not changed. And skills, it has Rainmaker, so it has 2 rockets instead of 1. And then lastly, the Elite Techno Rocket Trooper has 10 HP, 4 armor, 70 will, 9 mobility. The Techno Cannon now does 6 to 7 damage, and now it has an Incendiary Rocket Launcher, which is kind of like an incendiary grenade, which does the same damage, so it still does same damage as the Xcom rocket launcher, but it has less cover destruction, but it can set the ground and enemies on fire. So instead of going to a blaster launcher like some people would expect, it just has a rocket launcher with like an incendiary charge in it or something. And that's 2 of those because of Rainmaker. And now we have the Techno Officer. The basic Techno Officer has 10 HP, 70 aim, 3 armor, 70 will, 9 mobility. The equipment is a Techno Rifle, which 4 to 5 damage. A Techno Sting Grenade, advanced flashbang that can not only disorientate but stun enemies for a full turn. Pretty much Sting Grenade taken from Long War II, but just a thrown grenade instead of a launched grenade. And it can mark the enemy for plus 10. I really wish this shit here wouldn't show up. Yes, plus 10 aim with costing 1 action point. The advanced Techno Officer has 13 HP, 3 armor, 70 will, and 9 mobility. Equipment-wise, the Techno Rifle now does 5 to 6 damage. Techno Sting Grenades remain the same. And it can now summon a Napalm Strike. Calls in an airstrike in the area. That sets the area and any units on fire. Same radius as Blazing Pinions, and it does 4 to 5 damage, and of course sets enemies on fire, and it will probably have some sort of 1-turn delay like Blazing Pinions. The Elite Techno Officer does 15 HP, 4 armor, 70 will, 9 mobility. The Techno Rifle now does 6 to 7 damage, and the Sting Grenade is not changed. Skills-wise, the marked target has been replaced by Scan Enemy. Techno Officers now equip a advanced scanner, revealing weak points in enemy armor, plus 15 aim, 10 crit, doesn't cost an action, probably lasts something like a 2-turn cooldown. And it replaces Mark Enemy. I forgot to add that there, and it can still do the Napalm Strike. Napalm Strike is not changed in the Elite Techno Officer variant. Moving on, we have the Techno General that can show up on Neutralize, Advent, Field Commander missions, whatever the hell they're called. The basic Techno General has 30 HP, 65 aim, 3 armor, 100 mobility, although to be honest, generals are immune to mind control and panic and whatnot, so it doesn't really matter. And 9 mobility. It has a kind of like an advanced Techno Rifle, like I probably should have like heavy Techno Rifle that starts out as 5 to 6 damage. He can spawn a Techno Turret, which deploys a mini turret that can overwatch and fire twice in a single turn, which does 4 to 5 damage, starts with 6 HP, and can call in Techno Reinforcements, which includes 4 random Techno units, kind of like how the Bio General and the Bio Troopers mod can summon like 4 random Bio Troopers. And the reinforcements have a 4-turn cooldown on the Techno General. Advanced Techno General has 35 HP, 70 aim, 4 armor, 20 will, 200 will, 9 mobility. The Techno Rifle now does 6 to 7 damage. The Techno Turret now does 5 to 6 damage and has 8 HP. The Elite Techno General has 40 HP, 70 aim, 5 armor, 300 will, 9 mobility. Equipment Techno Rifle, 7 to 8 damage. Scales Techno Turret now does 6 to 7 damage and now has 10 HP. So there you go. A little bit of a special role this general can play. And now we have the Techno Flamer, which replaces the Purifier. The basic Techno Flamer has 7 HP, 65 aim, 2 armor, 60 will. Well, it doesn't replace the Purifier, it just acts as a Purifier. And then 90 mobility. Equipment, Incendiary Rifle, Advanced Techno Rifle with 2 firing modes. One fires Dragon Rounds, 4 to 5 damage, applies burning. The other firing a concentrated laser in a 7 tile long line, 7 to 8, applies burning, sets ground on fire. Pretty much like a budget null lance. But because the Techno Union doesn't like psionics, they have special weapons that kind of mimic the effect, but is different and it's non-psionic. The Advanced Techno Flamer has 9 HP, 65 aim, 3 armor, 65 will, 9 mobility. The Incendiary Rifle now does 5 to 6 damage with like the Dragon Rounds mode, and then 8 to 9 on the Null Lance mode, and still sets targets on fire, of course. And it has scale. That's supposed to be sealed armor, but I guess it, auto-corrected to scaled armor. Provides immunity to fire, poison, acid, and slight protection from explosives. So it's kind of like the sealed armor dark event, except it's permanent on advanced and elite Techno Flamers. Speaking of the elite Techno Flamers, they have 14 HP, 70 aim, 4 armor, 70 will, and 9 mobility. The incendiary rifle now does 6 to 7 damage with the main mode, which is the dragon rounds, and 10 to 9 on the, that's supposed to say second mode, which is the concentrated laser thing. Ah! Knocking shit off my desk. Oh no. This is a super obviously professional presentation. I can't have distractions like this going on. Not professional in any way. The Advent Techno Training Officer. So if you guys know about the training, the like Advent Field Training mod that was suggested by Christopher Odd. It's like sit rep based. You know, maybe a little bit of mod compatibility. So instead of basic training officers, you can have techno training officers show up. Who knows? Who knows? You know, if not, they could just show up on their own. That's perfectly fine. Basic techno training officers have 5 HP, 70 aim, 2 armor, and 60 will, 9 mobility. Equipment has a basic techno rifle with 4 to 5 damage. It has scan enemy, 15 aim, 10 crit, doesn't cost an action, 2 turn cooldown. Hold the line, buffs all techno troopers in a 7 tile radius, giving them plus 10 aim, plus 10 defense, plus 10 crit for 2 turns. Advanced techno training officer. Stats 7 HP, 70 aim, 3 armor, 70 will, 9 mobility. Techno rifle now does 5 to 6 damage. Elite techno training officer. 10 HP, 75 aim, 3 armor, 90 will, 9 mobility. Techno rifle now does 5 to 6 damage. Scan enemy now adds 20 aim, 15 crit, and 2 turn cooldown. Hold the line now does 15 aim, 15 defense, 15 crit for 2 turns. Next, we have a techno engineer. Of course, you know, with a bunch of robotics running around, you have to have an engineer. Basic techno engineers have 7 HP, 60 aim, 2 armor, 60 will, 9 mobility. Techno shotgun that does 3 to 4 damage, and a techno repair gun that heals robotic units for 5 HP, costs 1 action, 1 turn cooldown. And the techno repair gun can also be used as haywire to stun robotic units for a full turn. So your sparks, if you have the shivs mod, if you have the synthenoids mod, anything with mechanical chassis can be attacked by the haywire ability. Advanced Techno Engineer has 9 HP, 65 aim, 2 armor, 65 will, 9 mobility. The Techno Shotgun now does 4 to 5 damage. Techno Repair Gun now heals for 7. Skills Drone Deploy deploys a basic Techno Drone, gains 1 scamper move, 1 charge. Elite Techno Engineer, HP 11, 70 aim, 3 armor, 70 will, 9 mobility. Techno Shotgun now does 5 to 6 damage. Techno Repair Gun now heals robotic units for 9 points of HP. Scales deploys an Assault Drone, deploys a Techno Assault Drone, gains 1 move, 1 charge. And Techno Vanguard, this is kind of a joke unit. Because at the time of creating this presentation, I was watching Ava's Long War II No Fire run, and I saw a Vanguard and was like, I should make a Vanguard unit as a joke, which can very well still be added to the mod, but the skills are absolute jokes, alright? Basic Techno Vanguards have 15 HP, 70 aim, 3 armor, 70 will, 9 mobility. Equipment, heavy Techno Rifle does the 6 to 7 damage. Scales Vanguard, cracks a Vanguard pun. All Advent Troopers in a 10 tile radius gain plus 15 will because morale boost. Heavy Techno Vanguard has 20 HP, 75 aim, 4 armor, 75 will, 9 mobility. Heavy Techno Rifle now does 7 to 8 damage. Vanguard now adds plus 20 will, because, you know, he just keeps on getting that charisma stat up. Vandalism blows up a targetable environmental explosive with a well-placed shot, kind of like a budget remote start, but it doesn't modify the radius and it doesn't modify the damage, unless, of course, you're an elite Techno Vanguard, which has 75 aim, 25 HP, 80 aim, 5 armor, 80 will, 9 mobility. Heavy Techno Rifle now does 8 to 9 damage. Vanguard now increases will by 25%. That could be useful if you have a psionic on the team, you know. Advent Vanguard pops a pun first before any other troopers move. Everybody else has 25 will. That could be the difference between mind controlling and an enemy Advent soldier. Vandalism doubles the original blast radius of targetable explosion, but damage remains the same. Right? So it's not super crazy like remote start. Lastly, we have the Techno Exo Trooper, which is pretty much a trooper in an exosuit. HP 20s, aim 70, armor 4, will 80, mobility 7. Techno Cannon does 5 to 6 damage. Scales ground quake, jump, and slam the ground. Damaging all units in a 5-tile radius. 50% chance to disorientate, 8 damage. And it has a shredder gun. That is the same as the Xcom variant. Techno War Trooper has 30 HP, 90 aim, 5 armor, 100 will, 7 mobility. Techno Cannon now does 6 to 7 damage. Ground Quake now does 10 damage, still with a 50% chance to disorientate. Devastating Blow, same as Berserker. And Stretch Storm Cannon, same as Xcom variant. So do not fuck with this guy, he will murder you. Now we move on to add Techno Robotic units. So all of the hackable people. So Techno Drones, these are the Techno Drones that can be deployed by the Techno Engineer, but can also show up on their own in a pod. The basic Techno Drone has 5 HP, 60 aim, 2 armor, 10 mobility, 60 tech score. Skills, Stun Shot, a non-lethal shot that stuns the target for 2 full turns and no damage. Incendiary Shot, lethal shot that does 2 damage and sets them on fire. And then the Techno Assault Drone has 7 HP, 80 aim, 3 armor, 50 mobility, and 80 tech score. Toxin Shot, extremely lethal shot that does only 2 damage, but injects a deadly poison that causes random side effects, 50% chance to disorientate, 50% chance to stun for 2 turns. Not 50. 25% chance to disorientate, 25% chance to stun for 2 turns, 25% chance to panic, and 25% chance to knock unconscious. Kind of like a poor man's insanity without the mind control. Replaces Incendiary Shot. Alright, so this is no longer, this is it, and it still has Stun Shot if it really cares about doing that. Techno Sentinel Drone, which is pretty much a buff to the normal drone, but cannot be deployed by engineers. 7 HP, 70 aim, 3 armor, 60 tech score. Scales Overwatch with a gun taser thing that does 5 to 7 damage. Cool under pressure, so it can hit easier on Overwatch shots. Map Alert, raises an alarm that activates any squads within a 20-tile radius from the drone. So they'll be running around and then can take actions and all that stuff. Pretty much turns them on Yellow Alert from Long War II. Hunter Killer Drones, 10 HP, 90 aim, 4 armor, 70 tech score. Overwatch 7 to 9 damage. Seek and Destroy. When the drone is damaged to less than 5 HP, it auto-primes a self-destruct system next turn. It rushes the nearest enemy and explodes, dealing 4 damage and destroys their cover. Pretty much, you knock the drone down to 5 HP or less. Triggers a self-destruct, like I'm going to explode. If it doesn't get killed during that turn, it charges the nearest enemy, explodes, deals 4 damage, and destroys cover. Not sure how that's going to work if you manage to hack and control the drone. You know, but then again, that's only really a problem if somebody actually tries to create this mod. This is just a concept. I have no modding skills. Next we have a Techno Mech Trooper. So it's kind of like enemy within Mech Troopers, but they're still technically robotic, but they're still technically, you know, humanoid. There's still an Advent Trooper consciousness driving it. So they have will instead of tech score. Techno Mech Trooper has 10 HP, 70 aim, 3 armor, 70 will, 10 mobility. Equipment Techno Shredder Cannon. Heavy duty cannon that can shred massive amounts of enemy and destroy cover on missed shots. 7 to 9 damage, shreds to 3 armor, and it just has high environmental damage. So if it misses, it could take down, I don't know, it could take down a small rock or a chunk of wall or something. Heavy Techno Mech Trooper with 15 aims, 15 HP, 70 aim, 3 armor, 70 will, 10 mobility. Techno Shredder Cannon now does 10 to 11 damage and shreds 3 armor. Techno Rocket Pod fires a single high explosive missile warhead, same radius as micro missiles, high environmental damage, 6 to 7 damage, shreds 4 armor. Super Heavy Techno Mech Trooper that has 20 HP, 75 aim, 4 armor, 80 will, 10 mobility. Equipment Techno Shredder Cannon, 11 to 13 damage, shreds 3 armor. Techno Rocket Pod, 7 to 9 damage, shreds 4 armor. And Techno Turret that can replace normal Advent turrets. Basic Techno Turret does 10 HP, 60 aim, 3 armor, 70 tech score. Equipment Techno Shredder Cannon, 7 to 9 damage, shreds 3 armor. Skills Overwatch, light 'em up. Techno Cairo turrets, kind of like the Cairo Priest from a better DLC. 15 HP, 70 aim, 4 armor, tech 80. Techno Cairo Cannon, 4 damage, freeze targets for 2 full turns, and it has hollow targeting as well as Overwatch and light 'em up. Techno Incendiary Turret has 20 HP, 80 aim, armor 5, tech 90. Techno Incendiary Cannon, 4 damage, sets targets on fire with hollow target, Overwatch, and light 'em up. Different versions of turrets that do different things. Maybe they can appear throughout the entirety of the campaign. Maybe one replaces the other. Something for future modder to deal with. And a Techno Mini Tank, which is pretty much just a Techno Shiv. Basic Techno Mini Tank does 6 HP, 65 aim, 3 armor, 60 tech score, and 10 mobility. Equipment Techno Chain Gun, 4 to 5 damage, Shredder, 2 shred, 2 armor per hit when you hit. Heavy Techno Mini Tank, 9 HP, 70 aim, 4 armor, 70 tech score, and 10 mobility. Techno Chain Gun now does 5 to 6 damage, hollow target, and Shredder, plus 15 aim on hollow targeting. Super Heavy Techno Mini Tank, 12 HP, 75 armor, 75 aim, 5 armor, 75 tech score, 10 mobility. Techno Chain Gun now does 6 to 7 damage, now has demolition shot on top of hollow targeting and Shredder. Now, Techno Protopod, as the name would suggest, it is a prototype sectopod that when the Elders perfected their sectopod design, they were just going to throw out the old blueprints for their prototype sectopods. Techno Unit was like, hold up, we'll take those from you. We'll buy that off of you so we can build our own sectopods. Alright, we can build the protopod, see how it works, and then we can build off of that. So the Protopod is a much less scarier version of a Sectopod with 30 HP, 70 aim, 4 armor, 80 tech score, 10 mobility. Sectopod Blaster does 9 to 11 damage, and the only skills it has is Dying Explosion. It can't like get a high, it can't do high stance, can't do Wraith Cannon, can't do Lightning Field. It's just a giant walking brick on the legs with a giant cannon on it. But then, the Techno Union decided to create the Technopod, which has 40 HP, 75 armor, 100 tech score, and 12 mobility. Equipment, Techno Heavy Chain Gun does 10 to 13 damage. Techno Rocket Salvo fires a volley of high explosive rocket warheads, same radius as Blaster Bomb, 7 to 9 damage, high environmental damage with 2 charges, and maybe like a 1-turn cooldown between uses. Saturation Fire, same as Xcom variant with 10 to 13 damage. Make sure you're in cover. Deploy Mini Tank. Deploys a super heavy mini tank from a rear storage compartment. Mini Tank gains 1 single scamper move, 1 charge. There you go. And the Bio Division Biotrooper mod, Bio Division 2.0, reintroduces the Mechdoid back into Xcom 2, so I thought, you know what, the Techno Union's gonna bring back an enemy within enemy. Except it's the Cyberdisc. Cyberdisc, those creepy little fucking flying spider thingies. Whatever the hell you'd call those. 20 HP, 70 aim, 5 armor, 90 tech score. You can hack a Cyberdisc. Don't know how that works, but you can do it. 13 mobility equipment, Cyberdisc plasma cannon, 78 damage. Skills, light 'em up, fire twice in a single turn. Death Blossom, which I never knew it had this until my recent Enemy Within playthrough, where apparently it damages people within like a 3-tile radius all around it. I didn't know it could do that, but apparently it can with a 3-turn cooldown, 5 damage, destroys cover, and of course Dying Explosion. There you go, I never knew it had Death Blossom. But, of course, the Techno Union couldn't stop here. They gotta make a beefier version of the Cyberdisc, so they made a Techno Terror Disc. With 30 HP, 80 aim, 5 armor, a tech score immune to hacking, so you can't take control of this guy. 13 mobility equipment, Techno Shredder Cannon, 7 to 9 damage, stretch 3 armor. Skills, light 'em up, execute, guaranteed hit on enemies at less than 5 HP. Pack some medkits, boys. Auto Repair, heals 5 HP per turn. Techno Splinter Grenade, 4 to 5 damage, 50% chance to cause bleeding, same radius as a thrown plasma grenade. Death Blossom has been updated to 7-tile radius, 3-turn cooldown, and 9 damage. And of course, Dying Explosion. Watch out for this boy. And now, Techno Alien units. Aliens that have been buffed with cybernetic enhancements to allow them to use all of the Techno units' fancy toys. Techno Zerker, which is a Techno Biozerker, Techno Berserker. 30 aim, or 30 HP, 70 aim, 6 armor, 60 will, and 9 mobility on a Berserker. Oof. Skills, Maul. Mercilessly pounds an enemy within movement range, 10 damage, 50% chance to stun for 2 full turns. Spike Storm, the Techno Zerker's armor is covered in spikes that can be launched, 7 damage to all units within a 7-tile radius, 10% chance to cause bleeding. Spike Wool, the spikes on the Techno Zerker's armor works great against melee attacks. Agent melee attacks. Pff, good job, Jet. Immune to melee attacks. Melee attackers take 5 points of reflection damage. Don't stab this thing, or try to dominate it, so you're good there. So you don't have to deal with it. That's what I do with Biozerkers. Techno Vipers, with 10 HP, 70 aim, 3 armor, 70 will, 9 mobility. Equipment, Techno Coil Rifle, because we don't use plasma here. Plasma sucks! Techno Coil Rifle does 7 to 9 damage. Skills, Crush. The Techno Viper cannot tongue pull enemies like her lesser armored brethren. However, the Viper's armor provides great crushing power. Binds adjacent enemies for 3 damage per turn. Cannot be broken unless the Viper is killed. Power Shot. Special shot that ignores cover and 2 points of armor. 3-turn cooldown. Heavy Techno Vipers have 15 HP, 80 aim, 14 armor, 80 will. 14 armor, wow, no, 4 armor, 80 will, 9 mobility. Techno Coil Rifle now does 9 to 11 damage. Crush now does 5 damage per turn. Techno Sectoid Soldier. Sectoid Soldier, before you go all yelling at me about psionic aliens, Sectoid Soldiers in a better Advent don't have psionic abilities, or maybe they do, but they barely use them, so I don't know. But this Sectoid Soldier does not have any psionic abilities whatsoever. Alright. Besides, it's an armored sectoid. Wouldn't that be so fucking cool? At least to me it would. Anyway, 16 HP, 80 aim, 3 armor, 7 will, 8 mobility. Techno Coil Pistol does 6 to 7 damage. Skills, light 'em up, absolutely critical, 15 crit chance against flank targets, and melee fortification does 20% less damage taken from melee attacks. Suck on that, unarmored sectoids. Techno Cairo Chrysalid. 15 HP, 70 aim, 3 armor, will 80, 9 mobility. Skills, Cairo Claws. Instead of a poison, the Cairo lid injects a substance similar to the Frost Bomb, instantly freezing the target for 2 full turns. Due to the Cairo lid's heavy armor, they cannot burrow or else will get trapped and suffocate under the ground. So there you go. And at last, of course, the Techno Muton. HP 20, aim 80, 3 armor, 60 will, 9 mobility. Equipment, Techno Coil Rifle that does 7 to 9 damage. Techno Splinter Grenade that does 4 to 5 damage, 50% chance to cause bleeding. And that same radius as like a normal thrown plasma grenade. Skills, counterattack, suppression, personal shields cost 1 action, 5 shield HP. And the Techno Muton Elite has 30 HP, 90 aim, 5 armor, will 60, mobility 9. Equipment, Techno Coil Rifle now does 9 to 11 damage. Techno Splinter Grenade, that isn't changed. Skills, counterattack, suppression, personal shields that cost 1 action and have 9 HP now. And lastly, we have some dank events, missions, and sitreps. So dark events, Techno World, Techno Union have been brought into full swing, permanently increasing the frequency of Techno admin and robotic units. Techno Infiltration, the Elders have started augmenting more aliens into Techno gear, permanently increasing the frequency of Techno alien units. Missions, Techno Facility, new alien facility raid. This facility was given to the Techno Union for the developments and set a full complement of Techno units, so only Techno enemies. Techno Convoy, new supply raid. This advent convoy was full of Techno equipment and robotics guarded by Techno units. Sitreps, Techno automated defenses. Advent has left a number of Techno robotics in the area. Approach with caution. Savage Techno units. The Techno units have left a nasty group of their most savage aliens in the area. Threat level is extreme. And as always, any modders interested in this, comment below or at me on Twitter. Also, check out my other mod concepts. Link to the mod concept playlist will be in the description below, as long as with my Twitter. Thank you guys so much for watching. If nobody decides to make this mod, I don't care. I like explaining them. And you know what? Maybe I'll have another mod concept up soon. Thank you all for watching, and I'm out. Peace.